Caitlin Clark's civil rights has sparked a WNBA and NBA probe by the Trump administration.
The WNBA commissioner is officially feeling the heat. And trust me, this isn't just a normal headline. Word just broke that the entire Caitlin Clark civil rights situation has exploded into a full-scale federal investigation. Yep, this thing just went national. And what's wild is that it's no longer just a basketball issue. It's turned into a showdown about power, politics, and who's really calling the shots inside the league. So here's the real question. Is this investigation truly about fairness for Caitlin Clark, or is it just another political play disguised as justice? Drop your thoughts below, because this story is layered deeper than anyone expected. We've got Clark, the league office, and now out of nowhere, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice jumping in. Yeah, you heard that right. This story has officially crossed over into uncharted territory, way past sports.
Months ago, that Trump and his administration was coming. I've been preaching on it. I didn't think it was going to hit the NBA first. I thought it was coming to the W first, simply because of Caitlin Clark, her civil rights being violated, and these damn...
Reports are flying that a federal civil rights review has been triggered over the way Caitlin Clark was treated all season. From questionable officiating to the league's weak reaction to fan chaos and the so-called hostile environment surrounding her. And who's catching all the blame? The commissioner. Now, if you've been riding with court queens for a while, you know we've been covering the Clark story from day one. First, the league brushed off the constant rough play. Then, they ignored the fans who begged them to step in. And after that, they just acted like everything was fine when clips of Clark getting decked every week went viral. Fast forward a few months, and now the Department of Justice is reportedly asking questions. Because when a league fails to protect its biggest star, and it starts to look like bias, Washington eventually pays attention. The Wall Street Journal even warned months ago that if the league didn't protect its stars, the government might step in. And wow, that prediction aged perfectly. What's even crazier? Insiders say this civil rights angle was one of the reasons Trump's team took interest in the first place. They were already digging into NBA gambling issues. And then someone brought up Clark and the unequal treatment she faced. Suddenly, it all fit under a civil rights review. You honestly couldn't script this better if you tried.
Now, Stephen A. Smith has been someone, too, that has been vocal, has been an advocate about this probe happening. Now, I am here to tell...
Stephen A. Smith actually called this months ago. Back in August, he flat out said people close to Trump were watching the WNBA carefully. And he wasn't just guessing. He said senators were already talking about it behind the scenes. Now fast forward to today and boom, it's not just whispers anymore. It's headline news across every major network.
You know what world that I live in terms of politics? How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming. He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television.
Let's talk about why the commissioner's getting roasted so hard right now. It all boils down to leadership failure. When Caitlin Clark was getting knocked around game after game, what did the league do? They tweeted generic empowerment slogans and pretended nothing was wrong. Fans didn't buy it, and even neutral analysts started calling the league anti-Clark. Think about it. The most popular player in WNBA history was also the one taking the most hits. Referees swallowed their whistles. Players took cheap verbal shots in interviews. And the league? Completely silent. That's why people are furious. How can you preach equality and empowerment while letting your biggest star get bullied in plain sight?
Important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark, the Department of Justice, and quite possibly the President of the United States himself. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. But the one thing I will not do is take credit for this. I am looking at the Wall Street Journal. The author of the article is a guy by the name of Sean McLean.
And that's where the civil rights piece comes crashing in. Because under federal law, if a sports league fails to enforce its own rules fairly, Especially when bias and public perception get tangled up, it becomes a massive issue fast. And right now, it's exactly that. The Trump camp reportedly views Caitlin Clark as the ultimate American underdog, a hardworking, talented symbol who's being mistreated. And if they believe that, they're going to push this story hard. Stephen A. even warned months ago that once that audience grabs hold of it, the WNBA would regret not acting sooner. Now here we are, ESPN, Fox, podcasts, political shows. Everyone's talking about it. Some call it justice, others call it interference. Either way, the commissioner's reputation is hanging by a thread, because no major sports leader can look this out of touch and survive it.
Instead of protecting its transformative star, the league's leadership ignores the relentless targeting of Ms. Clark, treating its greatest asset as if she were a PR headache. That approach could turn into a legal liability.
Let's be real. This disaster was totally preventable. The WNBA just had to make officiating consistent and protect their players from obvious cheap shots. But instead, they treated Clark's popularity like a problem instead of the gift it was. And now the feds are knocking, asking why certain complaints were ignored. That's never a good look. The commissioner's getting torched from every side: sports media, fans, even politicians. Social media is flooded with clips of Clark taking hits with no calls. One highlight reel titled, "The Plays That Changed the League," has millions of views. Meanwhile, the commissioner's trying to talk about diversity and equality. Wrong time, wrong message. Fans want accountability, not hashtags. One viral post nailed it. If this happened to LeBron or Curry, heads would have rolled already. Hard to argue with that. Now, even former players are stepping in. Some defending the league, others admitting the obvious. Clark got treated differently. And that's exactly why the DOJ and the Trump team are both watching closely. Because when your league and civil rights probe are in the same sentence, you're in serious trouble. The truth? This could have been fixed months ago with a few suspensions, some officiating reform, and clear communication. Instead, they ignored it, and now the government's involved. Insiders say internal reviews have already started, with emails and ref reports being pulled. Stephen A. says this is just the beginning. If what's being whispered turns out to be true, it's going to blow up the WNBA's image of fairness and equality. And here's the twist. Caitlin Clark comes out of this looking stronger than ever. Once the dust settles, she'll be the face of resilience and justice. Every brand will want her. Every sponsor will chase her. Meanwhile, the commissioner's future looks shaky. And that's the irony. The league that tried to downplay Clark is now begging her to help them look good while they're under investigation. Sponsors are nervous, fans are furious, and the NBA is quietly paying attention too. Because if this crosses over into their gambling probe, the fallout could be massive. Stephen A. wasn't exaggerating. This isn't gossip anymore. The FBI's involved, meaning something real is happening. The court of public opinion has already spoken, and the commissioner lost. As for Caitlin Clark, she's not just a player anymore, she's a movement. The most powerful name in women's sports right now. Whether this ends with sweeping reform or total chaos, one thing's guaranteed. The truth is coming out. Drop your thoughts below. This story's only getting bigger.